Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unhindered Faith Motivational Monday. Thank you so much for joining me again on this incredible journey of discovering unhindered faith. And just want to, before we get into our next episode, as we're walking through the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth with John Maxwell, and we're going to talk about the law of trade-offs today, and it's going to be a good one. But just want to let you know, I'm going to extend our startup for our new class, walking through John Maxwell's new book, High Road Leadership, just talking about how we could lead people in unity in a world that is so divided. So we're going to start that first part of July. So it's not too late to register. And so you could go to unhinderedfaith.com and you could register on there. Cost is $150 plus you need to get your own book. And what we'll do is on Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 at the very latest in the morning through Zoom, we're just going to walk through and grow together. And you do not want to miss on growing yourself as a leader in a world that is so divided. So keep on watching as we dive into today's episode, the law of trade-off. So let me ask you this question. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? In other words, in the law of trade-off, and what John Maxwell talks about in this particular law is you have to give up to grow up. I remember growing up, baseball cards was the huge thing. And my friends and I, we would sit there and figure out what we're willing to trade. And in return, what are we willing to receive? Sometimes there was sacrifice in what we gave up in order to receive something that we didn't have. I found myself in a season this year where I started off substitute teaching in schools, and right away I found myself in a classroom that was needing a permanent position, not as a substitute teacher, but as part of a team in a special education class. And I knew that in order to take that position, there would be a pay cut, and I would not have the flexibility of just pick and choosing when I can and cannot work. I knew that there were sacrifices that would have to be paid. And this is what John Maxwell is talking about, that sometimes in the law of trade-off, we have to give something up in order for us to grow up. I found myself in this class recognizing right away that I could learn so much of what John Maxwell teaches in his principle of personalities and communication and teamwork and leadership, that I was willing to sacrifice some flexibility in my schedule. I was willing to sacrifice even some financial so that I can grow personally as a leader and as an individual in what I believe God's purpose is in my life. The rewards was not financially, or I was definitely tired many days. But what I found is the growth inside and how I saw things and things that could be done in a school, from the community, from a pastor's perspective of how I could even be a better pastor in a community, was priceless. There is a quote in this book, in John Maxwell's book, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by Viktor Frankl. He says this: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. When we're no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. I found myself in this past year, I can't change situations. I can't change the way people will make choices that affect my life. But what I can do is I can change myself. I could change how I look at the situation and let the situation grow me. And that's what I want to encourage you today. You may be facing a situation that is out of your control, but you do have control of how you can grow in the situation. The law of trade-off. I've also discovered in this season in life that there are times that you have to define what you're not willing to trade off. For example, I'm not willing to trade off my faith. My relationship with Jesus is non-negotiable. That is not being traded off. I'm not going to trade my family in. In other words, it's God, it's family, and my family is very valuable to me. I'm not willing to sacrifice them. So those are just a few of non-negotiables that are pillars in my life that will not be there for a trade-off. So I want to challenge you today as we talk about the law of trade-off. What are you willing to trade for growth? Let's reverse that. And I challenge you, what are the few things, what are the things in your life that you are unwilling to trade? What is it? And if you can identify that, then you know what some of those boundaries are that you will not waver in when it comes to making a change in your life, when it comes to making a next step in growth. There's just a few things for me that play an important part in every decision that I make. And non-negotiables for me, my faith and my family. Those are just two. So what are yours? I hope this encourages you because in every situation, for every trade-off, there's a growth that happens. And I just wanted to challenge you in the law of trade-offs in every situation, that we could trade something in, but the growth is priceless. And then there's just certain things that help us determine what we're willing to trade off and what we're not. So once we get those figured out, our decision making in life becomes a little bit easier. And no matter what happens, we can stand tall and know that we're still walking the line, that we're in the lane that we're supposed to walk. So appreciate you. Love you guys. Have a blessed week. Make sure that you like, follow, and let's continue on this journey of unhindered faith. And don't forget, join us Saturdays for about 7 weeks starting in July as we walk through John Maxwell's new book, High Road Leadership. And you can register today on unhinderedfaith.com. Have a great day.